He's having an interesting time right now. I doubt the mic can pick up his panting, but he's back on the bed right now. Oh, now he's coming back up to the passenger seat. He's kind of back and forth. He'll sit on the passenger seat for a minute, stick his head out the window a little bit, then go to the bed and sit there, and then go back to the passenger seat. Kind of trying to figure out what's going on. He's not used to all this, so I just raised up the passenger seat for him so that maybe he can see out the windshield. He's a pretty little dog, so it's hard for him to see outside. Other seat. Not on me. hours and 41 minutes until we get to our next maneuver. Oh no, 395 miles to our next maneuver, 405 miles to our destination. 6 hours and 40 minutes now to our destination, not to our next maneuver. It'll take us longer than that because I gotta stop for fuel eventually. I've got right about a half, I want to say a half tank, but the trucks have 2 tanks, so does that mean I have 1 tank? I don't know. Both tanks are half full. Motorcycle coming up behind me, and he's not set up supermoto style. He's got dual sport tires and wheels, it looks like. Yeah, he's dual sport. Really, you just change the wheels and tires, put 17-inch wheels and street tires with larger front brakes, and you got a supermoto. There's some other little things you can change too. Got a new phone this morning before I left for this trip. I got the Galaxy Note 3. The Note 4 is going to come out in like 10 days, something like that. But I didn't figure I needed the Note 4. The Note 3 is going to be a big improvement. I've had the Motorola Razr for about 3 years now. At least 3 years. I don't know, I've had it for a long time. And I was debating whether I wait for the Note 4 since it's so close to coming out, but it's going to be more expensive, or just get the Note 3. Obviously I decided on the Note 3 because it's cheaper. And it'll still, like, I don't need my phone to do much. I rarely make phone calls, unless, I guess, like tonight or today, where I'm going to be out of town and not at home with my family. I'll be calling them, or maybe I'll try to download Skype on the Note 3 or something. But I text. I get my dispatches through text. I basically text, I check Facebook, I post pictures to Facebook, I watch YouTube videos, and that's the bulk of what I do on my phone, so I don't need I probably don't even, I'm sure, need the Note 3. I'm sure it's overkill for what I do, but, you know, I'm not going to get another one for 2, 3, 4 years, who knows how long, so I might as well get something that's, I don't know if I'd say ahead of its time, but towards the top of the technology today, so that 3, 4 years from still not a total turd. And really, the main differences between the Note 3 and the Note 4, other than price, slightly better camera on the Note 4, from what I understand. I think the Note 3 is 13 megapixels for the main camera, and the Note 4 is 16. They're both full HD though, so better than what I'm used to, so it's still going to be an improvement. The Note 4 I think has just a slightly faster processor, but again the Note 3 is way faster than my old phone, so I don't need the fastest processor out there, not for, you know, an extra 150 bucks or whatever it is. And the Note 4 screen is like slightly crisper, is the way that it's been described. Again, the Note 3 looks amazing compared to my Razr. So, if those are the only real differences, I mean, shoot, I'm going to be happy with the improvements going from the Razr to the Note 3. So, I considered also getting the S5 instead, because I don't need the stylus with the Note. I'll probably never use it. Well, I'll probably use it once. I'll probably pull it out just to play with it. Other than that, I'll probably never use it. So I don't care about the stylus. The main reason I still chose to go with the Note over the S5, the main reason is the memory. The S5 is 16 gig, which is the same as my Razr was. Not a lot of memory, really. I never filled up my Razr. Although, well, the Razr is 16 gig, and then I had a 16 gig micro SD card in it as well. So I had 32 total gigs, and I never filled it up in 3 years or whatever. And that thing had, I don't know, thousands of pictures on it, and multiple videos. It's the main thing I use it for. So, never filled it up. But the S5 is also a 16 gig phone, and the Note is a 32 gig phone. The S5 actually had better usage time on the battery, but the Note had better standby time, I believe it was. So, man, I drive a truck for a living. I have a phone, a car charger next to me all the time. At home, I have wall chargers, obviously. In the truck, I have car chargers. In my pickup, I have car chargers. In my wife's minivan, we have car chargers. Like, battery life is cool, but honestly, I'm never really away from a charger for any significant amount of time. So I don't know. It was tough deciding between either of the Notes and the S5. But like I said, ultimately I think the thing that made the decision was the memory. 32 gigs for the Note versus 16 for the S5. And again, that's, you know, I'll have this phone for a long time, so I don't want to have to start deleting stuff down the road. Which, with either of them, you know, you can add micro SD cards. So I believe the Note 3 you can add up to a 64 gig micro SD, which is a ton for me. I don't remember what the S5 was, but I remember the Note 4 you can add up to, I believe it was 128 gig micro SD, which I would never need. I'm sure I'd never need that. So I just recently bought my first laptop that has bigger than 120 gig hard drive. So I can't imagine using more than 120 gigs in a phone. I'm sure the day will come. I mean, the way technology keeps advancing and whatnot, it's just a matter of time before, you know, that comes, I suppose. But with making the transition from a company driver to an owner-operator, I wanted better laptop, really. I mean, really what it comes down to is I wanted a better laptop, and I probably used the buying a business or buying a semi as an excuse to justify getting a better laptop. But I just got a new laptop, the best we've ever had. We've always bought our laptops like used or secondhand or whatever you want to call it. So they were always, you know, when we got them, probably 4 years old. They may have been a good laptop in their day when they were new, but at the time we got it, you know, they're past their prime. So my other laptop that I just replaced, I still have it, but was an Asus, what is it, R1E, which has the screen that rotates. You can spin the screen around and close it up like a tablet, and it has a stylus. It's kind of touch screen, but only with the stylus, not with your fingers. And it has, I don't even remember, well, I put a new hard drive in it because the hard drive crapped out. So now it has 120 gig SSD, and it's got like 3 gigs of RAM. I don't remember the processor. And you know, it served its purpose fine for the last year or whatever. I bought it like a year ago. It's the first laptop I've had that actually I could play MX Simulator. I like motocross and whatnot, so MX Simulator's a game I like to play. And that Asus was the first laptop I've had that I could even play that game on. So I don't know, it was the best laptop I'd ever had until I just bought this one. So I just bought a what is it? HP Envy with 1 terabyte hard drive. Let's see, what is it? 1 terabyte hard drive. Sorry, I'm all discombobulated because going by the scale. A 1 terabyte hard drive with 16 gigs of RAM, 2.5 gigahertz i7 processor, might be 2.7, I don't remember. Full touchscreen, 17-inch full touchscreen, Windows 8.1, I don't know. And I had bought, previously I had bought for my Asus a, what is it, a MyBook 3 terabyte external hard drive for saving movies on and stuff. Which I believe that has USB 3.0, which I was never able to take advantage of because my Asus doesn't have. It just has standard USBs. But with this HP, man, well, the hard drive's so big that I've only used, I don't know, 500 gigs of the external hard drive. So I plugged in the HP to the external hard drive and transferred everything on that hard drive over to the hard drive on the HP, and it took like 5 minutes or something. I don't remember how long it took, but it was super fast. It has, like before, if I wanted to watch movies so I would just plug the laptop into our TV and watch movies from the laptop on the TV. But I had, you know, a monitor cable was how I hooked it up to the TV. So the sound was still off the laptop. So I bought, you know, external speakers and whatnot to play the sound from the laptop so we could hear the movie. Well, the HP has an HDMI cable, or an HDMI port. So now, like, my son and I were watching, I downloaded, I legally purchased some Star Wars movies because my son really wanted to watch Star Wars. And so I just I unplugged the HDMI cable from my PlayStation, plugged it into the laptop, and was able to watch movies from my laptop onto the TV with full sound from the TV in, full HD, and it was great. I'm sure all of you are used to that crap. Behind the times on like the computer stuff, I suppose, but I thought that was pretty neat. So I don't know. It's got like the fingerprint reader. I don't know how great that stuff is. It seems to me like it's probably just a little gimmicky thing to get some sales. I don't know, but it's nice to think about being able to save whatever personal information or passwords or whatever in the computer, and if I were to lose it or if it were to get stolen, the idea that nobody could get into the computer to my personal information without cutting off my finger and using it to get into my laptop is kind of cool. I don't know if it actually works that way or not, but I don't know. It's cool if it does. I haven't set it up to require like the fingerprint to unlock the computer. You can get into the computer, but it's saved all of my username and passwords. But it will only, any like website that requires that, if I wanted to autofill that information, I have to just swipe my finger across the fingerprint thing, and then it'll just fill in the info on that page. Same with like credit card information for paying bills, because I pay bills online and all that stuff. It'll autofill it all in once I swipe my finger. So I'm sure somebody good with computers could still get in there and just get all my crap, but somebody really good with computers is going to be able to get my crap no matter what. So I'm more worried about the crackhead that a dishonest person, maybe I should say, instead of crackhead, that steals my laptop and tries to just use hoping that it auto logs into my bank account or auto logs into whatever. I don't know. But I don't know. So I was really hoping, oddly enough, that scale would be open. The reason I say that, I want to get a NorPass transponder for going by scales. I usually get the bypass in Washington. I probably really don't need a transponder up there, but it makes it a lot more convenient in Oregon to have a NorPass or some kind of transponder. I think NorPass is the only one they use. They might use another one also, but I'll get the bypass probably most of the time. It's just like today, my load only weighs, I don't know, 30,000 pounds or something. So total, I probably weigh 60,000. I'm really light. So a lot of the times I'm really light, so I just get the bypass. But in Oregon, you don't get a bypass unless you have a transponder. So, but in order to get a transponder, I have to go across. The safety guy at the company I'm leased to said to go across 3 Oregon scales, actually roll across the scales when they're open, and then let him know, and he'll give me a transponder. So I've got across 1. That scale we just went by is always open, pretty much, I thought, but I don't usually run on the weekends, so it's kind of not surprising it's not open on a Sunday afternoon. But I was counting on that as being number 2 that I went across with this truck. I just bought this truck a little over a week ago, so, and the transponder gets associated with the truck, so I need to take this truck, since I just purchased it, across 3 Oregon scales. So anyways, I was counting on that scale being number 2, and then I figured I'd hit at least one for sure on the rest of this trip, even if it's just the point of entry when I cross back from Idaho, and have my 3 out of the way already.